So welcome to this class. In this class, we will be discussing about modules and packages. This is a new topic after function and one of the most useful topic whenever we write any application when belongs to AIML or normal web applications. So modules and packages are the very common practices which we use for building a scalable project or product. So what we are going to discuss in this session. So we will have an introduction, why modules and packages required. Then we'll understand the definitions, how we use what is the definition, importing and execution of any module. Then the module search path, sys.path, we'll discuss about it. And then how you will be creating packages, how you will be using those packages, and what is the use of init py file and package initialization. Then we'll discuss about the relative imports and namespace packages and some of the best practices for structuring AIML project. Then we will discuss about how we can create a distributable packages like PyPy ready, where you can create your own package, you can publish to pip, what exactly pip is, and how you can create your own package, custom packages, and you can have ready or you can publish it to pip basically. Then we'll discuss about interview questions and common pitfalls. So we'll cover couple of topics in this class, and then in next class we'll cover like the remaining topics. So now the question arises, why modules and packages? So if you are using modules and packages, one of the great advantage is it increase the modularity of your code. So you can break a large code base into manageable and reusable pieces. So up to this class, we have discussed about the function. You write multiple functions in same file. Now let's suppose you have a large code base where you have around 50,000 of code on the line of code. So 15,000 is a huge code we cannot put into a single file. So we need multiple modules so that the management will be easier and we can reuse those easier. Then one of another advantage is namespaces. So we can avoid naming collision. So let's suppose again, let's say you have 15,000 line of code where you are having maybe 5,000 of functions. So naming those functions will be very difficult to have a unique name for each function. And then it gives a very lesser space when it comes to defining a different namespaces. So we can define separate sections, separate packages, modules. Within those modules, we can write the functions. Then third is maintainability. So separate concern, data loading, models, training, evaluation. So let's suppose you have a project. This is the project layout where you have different sections. One is you have data here. This data contains all your input files, and let's say this is the source package. In source package, you are loading the data in this. So this is module 1 where you're loading the data and doing the pre-processing of the data. Then the second section is models where you are applying model on the data. So this is one of the ML project structure, a basic structure. So you have collected the data, you loaded the data from the data sources, maybe from Excel sheet or database or anything. Then you apply a model. So there is one package or the modules which we have created where we are applying a different types of models, random forest or neural net. Right? And there is a different section for training. So you can, after that you are doing a training. So we are putting all the modules here related to training. There are a couple of utils we use, like some helper functions. So we separated it into the utils package. And then there are certain tests like unit test or integration test you are writing. And this is a script like where we do some experiments. So we can structurize our entire project into small libraries, and within that libraries you can keep your code which belongs to that and which is very easy to understand. So if you see this structure, this is well defined structure. Anybody who reads this structure will be able to understand what package does what. Right? The naming convention is also super fine. And if you see here, we have one file called init.py in each of the folder. These are the folders, and this makes the superpower of this folder. We'll discuss it in init.py, what exactly it is, and how you initialize your package. So this is a well structured layout of the project, which you can divide your 15,000 of line of codes into different files, modules, and packages. When it comes to AI ML context, so typical projects have many components like data processing, feature engineering, model definition, training loops, metrics, visualization. Without model, without model, the code becomes a monolithic and unreachable scripts. So there are different sections of your project. This is like something ETL. If I talk about the ETL pipeline, what exactly ETL pipeline is? Any ML applications where you have huge number of data and you want to extract something out of that, you want to transform it, and then you need to load it. So any AI ML application or web application also, they have different sections, uh, and you create that structure in well-defined way so that it is easy to maintain and easy to understand. And what exactly expectations from seniors when you start a new project from scratch? So always think about this principle. Design packages that are importable, testable, and shareable. So this is three principles when it comes to the designing any new project. So make sure whatever packages you are creating, these are the importable and they are the testable at the unit level. Let's say I want to test only models. So I want to test my random forest or I want to test my neural network. So I can run the test accordingly. I'll go to that package. I'll run that file with the relevant inputs. Then it should be a seriable. So if you see, there are huge number of libraries we use from pip, and this is the library. We have around 7,80,000 external libraries available on pip. And so what usually we does, everyone whoever is contributing into the Python projects, let's say in AIML side, even OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Amazon, anyone. So they create the package and that package is readily available to use. Right. So this is one example of OpenAI. So this is the Python code. This is the code base, but same thing, the same package will be available in pip. So you can install this package and use it. So let's suppose if you are having something, a utility or something you are building, you can build it, you can create as per the standard of pip PyPy.org in pip format and you can push it here. So this is the place where all library resides. So let's say if I want to check for OpenAI, so there are a couple of packages are already available. So this is the one, OpenAI. How to install it? Pip install OpenAI. So in your system, you should have pip. So how to check it? Go to terminal and see, enter here pip. You will see some of the output here. If you don't have pip, it will give an error or the message saying that you need to install pip. So you can install it, and using pip, you can install any package now. So let's take example of this OpenAI. I'll just copy it and paste it here. So you can install any external package like this using pip. So this is one thing, when you are using any external package into your project, then you have to install it using pip. The second is you can create your own package and you can publish it here. But to publish it here, there are a couple of guidelines which you need to follow uh, from this. So you can read it from docs and you can become a contributor as well. So that is like future, you can do it. I'll share some of the process how to do it. So this is what we are saying here as from the seniors. We should always think about these three principles. Your modules or your Python project is importable, testable, and shareable. So for example, internal ML libraries. So let's suppose you work in X company and you can create some machine learning libraries which everyone can use it. So they can either, you can put it into GitHub and they can clone it and use it. That is internal sharing. Or you can create it for open source contribution. So this is where I was talking about. This is the open source place. You can put your library here and now anyone can use it. So these are the two ways, and this is why modules and packages are very important. So now let's create first module. So a module is a .py file containing Python definition and statements, and it serves as a namespace. Means I'll create one file here. Let's say my code 1.py. So this is one of the one of the module. In this module, my code one module, I'm writing some code here. For example, let's say I define any variable, uh, maybe a constant, let's say pi equal to, the value of pi is 3.14, or I can have functions, let's say def, and the function is add a plus b. I can have more functions, def subtract a minus b. So the code which we are writing here is the Python code, and the file my code one is the module. So this is one of the module, and now you can use this code. Let me create more. Yeah, so you can use these, uh, we call it as properties. So modules properties, this is a constant, these are the functions. We can import it into the other module. So let's say if I create another file, my second my second module .py. Now what I will do, I say import my code one. So this is the module name. We are importing it. Now let's say I have x equals to 90, y equals to 100, and I say result equals to my code dot add. So how we are calling it here? We are saying that this is the model of the module name, and within this module there is a property add. So this add function is not written into my second module. It is written into my code 1. This is the first module. So from this module, we are using this property into second module. So this is the one way. So if I execute it, see the output 190. So we are passing 90 and 100 here, and we are using the property of my code 1. So let's suppose if I want to know the circumference of circle, I want to use pi, right? So I say, let's say the radius equals to 9, and I say print value of, or maybe circumference of circle is this 2 into my code dot pi and r. So if you see the output is here, so we are able to use it, the properties of my code 1. So this pi variable is defined into my code 1 module, and we are using it into second module like this. So this is one of the way you can reuse the code which is written into different module, and you are importing it here and then using it. So there are multiple ways to use this import. Import is a keyword, and we are passing the module name here. So let's suppose when I need all the um, properties of your module, then there is one more way. We say from, then say here your module name, then import, and then you can use star. So what is the meaning here? If I'm using star, it means I want everything or all the properties of my code 1. The properties are variables and functions here, and tomorrow when we will start object oriented programming, there would be classes. So when you put star, then means we need everything. I can use anything from here. And let's suppose if you want to use specific, then you can say from. I want to use only add, let's say. So I'll just comment this one. So I want to use only add and pi. So now you need to do just a small change. So whenever you are using from this keyword, then you can use directly the property name. You no need to define the module name. So what you can say here, result equal to add. And similarly for this also, I'll just comment it so that we can do comparison. So print circumference of circle 2 pi r. So we are defining here, we are saying from this module import these two particular properties. So this works. One second, this is not required. Hmm. So this works. So this is another way. Let's say I want the limited properties from this. If you want everything, then you can use star. So now let's suppose there is third property written as subtract, and I haven't imported here and I want to use it. So let's say r1 equal to subtract x comma y, and when I run it, see the output error, subtract not defined. So what I need it here is I need to import it. So from my code 1, this is a module, then we are importing the properties. So this time it will work. So this is how you can limit your property. You can use 1, 2, 3, depends on your use case. If you want everything, you can use star. And there is one more feature where you can make alias name of it. Let's say alias name is from, my code import, let's say div. So I'm importing divide and making a different name. I'll say div. So the actual name of this function in this my code one is divide. But what I did here is I given a different name here, alias name, which is nickname we call it, right? And we can use it here in this function, in this module. So let's say um, R2 equal to div 100 divided by 10. Sorry, my bad. 100 comma 10, and then I print the division. So see that here we are able to do it. So means you can define a second name. So why this is required sometimes? So let's suppose the same function name is available in my second module file and same function name is available here also. Then we have to explicitly says which one I want to use. So let's say I'll create one function here, def print masses. Print masses. I'm passing masses here, and I say this masses. This is from my second module, and I'll create a similar function here, which is available in this module as well. Print masses. This is from code one. So now if I use here, I say print masses, hello world. So it will execute the second one because the priority goes to within the to the same module. If this function is not available in same module, then it says if any import is there for that. So if import is there, then it goes to the next module. That is the priority defined. Now, if I will take that also from my code one, I'll take like this. So then what will happen? Again, it will execute second only. Why? Because the name of the function is same in both the places, here also and here also. Sometimes this kind of ambiguity you will see in when you are using the different packages. So what you can say is I'll give a alias name to the print masses function. I say print masses from 1, and when I use it I can call it in this way, print masses 1 hello world. So we are explicitly saying that use this, then you will be execute from 1. This is from my my code 1 module. So these are some couple of ways where you can use the different properties from different modules and import it. So now let's understand here. So if you see my code 1, this is one module and this is another module. But the similarity is both modules reside in same folder. Folder name is module underscore package example, modules underscore package example. So both modules are available in same folder. So now what are the different ways to import it? So I'm importing my code one module into my second module. So these are the multiple ways where we have discussed in detail here. So you can use import, then your module name. If you want to, so this is another way, like if you are using in this case import my code one, then you have to give everywhere my code one dot add, my code one dot py. So we are consuming these properties. Now, if you use in this way, this is also another way from, this is the module name import star. So when you're passing a star means we can access everything, all the properties of this module. Then you can specify particular properties as well from my code one import add py subtract. So I just use this one and this one. So you can define. If you need limited, you can import in that case. And this is two things, which is putting a alias name. So let's say you have two functions or two properties with same name. So here one property is this function print message, and this print message, both are same name. So now there is will be a ambiguity when I will call print message. Now compiler will check, the priority will go to this module itself where we have defined. It will check within this module where we are calling print message. If it is defined here, it will execute it. Now, if you want to execute same method or same function property which is defined in the other module, you need to define a alias name. So here we have defined alias name is print message 1, and we have used it. So this is how you can define a different name or alias name. This alias name can be a number, like there is no limit. You can give any name and number of names, and you can give alias name to the module as well, but you need to use in this way. So import my code1 as m1. So if you see this example, we are using m1.py, means m1 is the alias name or alias name of my code1. Check into this module and see this property. So it look for this property 5 3.14. So these are some the different ways where you can use the properties of different modules. How exactly this import works? So Python searches for modules in sys.path. So sys.path, path, sorry, let me just make it correct. So sys.path, it gives you the absolute path of your file where your file resides. Then if found, it execute the model code and create a module object. So what happens is, when I say here import sys system library, it's an internal library, and I'll say sys.path, you see the output. This is the entire path in configured for this. So first path is C in dev AIML batch 5 module package example, the entire path. Then these are the different system paths are available which is configured into your system. So it will look into this. If your package or your folder belongs to your path, it look into that path and check if this module is available. If it is available, it will execute it. So there is one more sys property you can try out, is print sys dot. So there are a lot of functions available in this library, modules. So what it does, it prints the value of stream. So basically I'll just print it and show output. So it will show what are the modules are so here available. So in sys there are some built-ins available like time, right? Code C, input output. There are a lot of modules available internally to use. So you can print those modules, you can use those modules. Right. So let's say if you want to use time, import time. So this is also internal module or internal library. We can import it, and if I say print time.time, it will give you the value of this time. So let's say if you want to give a specific um, zone also, or you need, so it returns the current time in seconds. Okay. And if you see print time dot, so there are a lot of functions available which you can try out and see. There is one function called sleep. So let's say if you want to put sleep before, like before after this line, before executing the next line, you can do that. There are time zones also available. Fine. So you can explore this library and we use it sometimes. So if you print the doc of time, you will see here the doc string. This is the doc string, right? This module provide various functions to manipulate time values. There are two standard representation time. One number is epoch, basically UTC, and then the other presentation is a tuple of 9 integer giving local time, where year, month, day, minutes, seconds, weekdays. So you can read about this and you can try to use it. So if you want to use more libraries into internal buildings, you can go to this document. So it's an official document of Python, and here you can see all are the available libraries. Like we have logger, we have regular expressions, string, heap, queue. For numeric mathematicals modules, we have math, C math library, random. So we does use random also to generate pseudo random numbers. There are statistics, so we will be reading about that. We will use that, and then there are a couple of OS libraries also. So this is the library which you can use. One is the string library is also available. There are some additional features available from string library, and if you read the entire documents, you will get lot of internal libraries available. We will be using logging soon. Time also we will be using OS library. There are a lot of already available internal library. So whenever you have a new requirement, then always look it as in that perspective, search into your internal library first. If it fulfills your demand, opt that. Otherwise, you go to PyPy, check any packages available for that, then use external packages. So here we have all external packages available. And if there is no internal package available, no external package available, then you can build a custom package. So now there is one more standard way to write the code that is called Puppet. And what exactly Puppet does, it is an styling guide for the Python code. So it scans through your code and then identify is it following the standards or the best practices for code writing. This is the guideline which is defined here. So if you see PAP 257, so this is one of the section of Puppet library, uh, advanced string formatting. So you can read through it, understand it. But what I will do is I'll share one step where you can use this Puppet to identify whether your code is written in good way or will generate some kind of report. So let's say this is one of the external library which we need to install. So whenever we say you install a external library, then you use pip. So let me get a terminal here. I'll just install it bytecode style. Now this is installed. Now you can scan your file. So let's suppose I want to scan my second module.py, or so what I does is py code style, and you can share your file. Let's say advanced dictionary, maybe we can take one of the file, advanced dictionary.py. So it generates the output like this. So if you see, it says trailing white space, and it identify the gaps, and it says like which line is following the standard or not following the standards or missing piece. So if you see, these are some codes W291, E501, E261. There are certain rules we should be following it, and if you copy it, then or if you read the document, you will understand like which section, what are the meaning. So let's say name to avoid, never use character I, lowercase or O as a single character variable name. So there are lot of standardized things written here. In fact, when you are writing the AI code, you can ask your AI or Copilot to follow Puppet style. So AI will read your entire code base, or before writing the code, AI agents will take care of this. So externally, you can give the commands to your AI and it follow that guideline. So this is one of the best practice you should be using. Now let's say if you have a few property which you don't want to make it importable. For example, let's say in this file, my code1.py, these are the properties which are ready to use, or anyone can import this module and use it. And some properties you want specific to this module. I don't want to expose those. So what you can do is there is a section which you can say if underscore name equal to main. So this is a section where you can define these properties and use it. Means, so whenever I'll run my code one module, then only it will execute. For example, let's say there are two variables x1 comma x2 equals to 9 comma 10, or let's say I'll define one def inner function. I'll not call it inner function, you will get confused. So let's say f1, and this is a function, nested function. So these are the three properties where I cannot use into my second module. So let's suppose even if I'm importing the entire module using this method or this method, then also you are not allowed to use it in different modules. So I'll just comment this so that there will no confusion. So what the meaning here is, I'll comment this section as well. So now I import everything. Import my code one. So now if I say print my code one.py, I will be able to access it. But when I say print my code one.x1, so if I say this one, then you see the error. You cannot use it. So when we can use it, if you want to run this module, then only you will be able to use it. So let's say here I say f1, I'm calling this function, or if I say print x1 plus x2. So in this case, if I run this module, see the output, this is the nested function 19. So the code which you don't want to expose to others, or the code which you want to run it when this module will be running, so you can use this section called if underscore name underscore equal to underscore main. So what is the meaning of this section or the line? It says if your current module is your main module, means we are running this, then only use this. Otherwise, we will not expose to any other module. That is the meaning. So we have covered so far. These are the topics. Like we understood what is why the need of packages and the modules. We will move packages in next class, and we understand the importing, the execution. We have discussed about the sys.path. So in the next session, we will be discussing on packages, how to create it, using it, and we'll create a complete project layout with some sample code. Thank you.